What's up, everybody? I'm Taylor Twellman from Major League Soccer and Apple TV. We are through the quarterfinals of Leagues Cup, where this year's edition of the tournament, expect the unexpected. No Monterrey, Chivas, Cincinnati, Miami, Tigres, Cruz Azul, or LA Galaxy in the quarterfinals. That's because the likes of the Philadelphia Union, New York City FC, and Mazatlan have surprised some teams along the way. Only 2 teams remain from Liga MX, and yet the money and Champions Cup burst that remain has everyone's attention. And so does the end of another transfer window in MLS. Who won that window? Or who disappointed? Twellman's takes. So often we talk about the business of soccer and how franchises in MLS are more advanced in some areas than others. And more often than not, Atlanta United's at the top of any discussion. And yet, right now, August 2024, it feels like they're at a crossroads. The fans are restless. They're tired of looking down the road 6, 9, 12 months of seeing another reset and another rebuild. It's crazy to think that Frank de Boer has been the most successful manager since Tata Martino, and the fans couldn't wait to get him out of Atlanta as quickly as possible. I'd say it's more about Josef Martinez and Miguel Almiron that they haven't replaced, and it's not for the lack of trying, and especially the lack of funds. They've spent it. P.T. Martinez, Ezequiel Barco, Thiago Almada, Yorgos Giacomakis have all actually been good for the business of soccer. But have they been good for the game, the brand on the field? There's a good debate to that. So now what? That's what the Atlanta fans saying. Because this transfer window hasn't been what I thought, and many thought it would be for Atlanta United. Alexei Miranchuk, a fantastic player, top 5 chance creator in Europe and a top 5 league in the world. Very few have come to MLS with that pedigree. But chance creator for who? For what? Atlanta United, they lack bite, they lack enthusiasm, they lack any hope of scaring the opposition in the moment. And Garth Lagerwey is going to hire his first coach in his career. Ultimately, that's going to be the difference of whether or not Atlanta United are back or still in a rebuild. Now for the Purina Underdog of the Week. It has not been the easiest of seasons for the Philadelphia Union, and especially when there was little to no roster makeover in the offseason. Come this transfer window, still kind of quiet. But not Tai Baribo, who's been fantastic as of late. 9 goals in his last 7 games in all competitions. And here we are with Julian Carranza being sold. There is a big concern that Philadelphia will not have anyone to score goals for them. And yet, the underdog himself, Tai Baribo, has stepped up. Now, Philadelphia's won 5 of those 7 games with Baribo at the 9, and with the experience of this team in tournament-style games, who's to say the Union cannot win this League's Cup? There's not a coach, a city, or a team that embodies the underdog more than the Philadelphia Union. Our Underdog of the Week is brought to you by Purina, with a friendly reminder about the power of pets. Just like I do, spending time with your pets can reduce stress and anxiety and help keep your head in the game. It's one of the many reasons that Purina believes that people and pets are happier together. One of the best showcases of what Major League Soccer is all about in 2024 came this week when the Columbus Crew hosted Inter Miami in Leagues Cup. Both teams playing at a very high level, arguably the 2 best in the league at the moment, and both teams doing it their way. Columbus, for the second straight summer transfer window, rolled the dice a little bit and arguably had the most impactful window with DeJuan Jones, A.Z. Jackson, Dylan Chambos to go with a collection of players that love playing for their manager. They're now deeper. Now, Willfried Nancy is very rigid, always 3-4-3, but he's also very capable of changing it on the fly. That's the key point here, as his core belief is that every player has to be able to play multiple positions within that system. 3 changes at halftime, they overcome a 2-goal deficit, they beat Miami 3-2. But this is more about Tata Martino. They set out to win multiple trophies this year, and they haven't done so with Concacaf Champions Cup, Leagues Cup, and the US Open Cup. And while I understand the idea of moving to 5 in the back against Columbus, it's more about the who than the what. Busquets cannot play center back in this league. He's 36 years old. He lacks pace to play in that system. I get it, they were up 2-0, but watch all 3 Columbus goals. When they figured out delivering balls from wide areas is going to cause an issue for Sergio and company, the wheels fell off the Miami bus very quickly. I've done 2 games where Miami have played Busquets at center back, and in those 2, both in the state of Ohio, they've given up 9 goals. Miami's the front runner to win the Supporters Shield and most likely MLS Cup. but I marvel at the fact that for the longest time, Tata Martino will tinker pregame, but never in-game. The old dog still has some tricks, but the question remains, does Tata Martino understand that he has the deepest roster in MLS history, and is he willing to use it every game? This week on my podcast Offside, we go behind the scenes with Inter Miami, and especially Julian Gressel on his weekly prep for 3 games with Inter Miami. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Julian himself. And remember, you can get MLS Season Pass on Apple TV for 50% off to watch the rest of Leagues Cup and the MLS Cup playoffs as well.